Now let's move to another unconventional case, which is about grievance redressal mechanism. We'll do this in like 5 minutes. So a client is a government department, they are facing concerns with their grievance redressal mechanism. How would you help them solve this issue? So bunch of initial questions up front, right? Which government department are we talking about? What do you mean by grievance redressal? What is the existing mechanism like? Essentially, you'll try to understand everything that is there about the context, right? So clarify things here. Clarify what do you mean by concerns. That probably for me is the biggest clarification here, right? Understand what the grievance redressal mechanism is, what the process is like, and how would you help them resolve this issue. Again, it's the concept of the bridge, right? The concern is here, the resolution is here, and I have to understand where do I have to end up. So again, we've covered, let's say, the first 2 steps, and then we have to do the rest of the bit. So what do we do in a case like this? So let's say we discuss it with the interviewer, and this is what we hear. That let's say we're talking about a specific, let's say we talk about the 100 emergency number, and the concern is that the waiting time is huge, and the resolution is to reduce waiting time. So anyone who's trying to solve this problem without clarifying these questions upfront will not even know where to start and where to end. That's why it becomes so prudent to ask initial questions upfront. Now, and the key focus is to now keep changing your lenses. The first lens, or rather the main lens here, is that of a customer, or let's say the complainant. What I will do is I will just trace out the steps that they follow, okay, and what exactly happens when I try to register a complaint. Okay. So I pick up phone, dial 100, then I have waiting, then automatic operator, then 7 to 8 steps later, more waiting, then finally an operator reaches out to me, asks me issue, puts me on hold, more waiting, comes back, gives me, let's say, a token, okay, and then I have to end call. Okay. So if now I have to solve this problem, what do I do? Nothing. Well, why is there a waiting time between my dialing 100 and just hearing an automatic tone, right? Where the first steps, why does it have to ring when it's just an automated process? Maybe something could be done here. Okay. You could figure out arguments like, this was a predated system, this is the old system, this is how it has been, whatever. One point of inefficiency. Okay. Now I have to answer 7 to 8 steps. Can I reduce those steps to 3 to 4? So you will deep dive into those questions, try to see if they're overlapping questions or not, and try to figure out what is going wrong. Then this waiting, once you have answered your question, you have to wait to get the operator. Now you might ask, why is this happening? Okay, so well, you could figure out that the number of people that you employ is pretty low. So if you would just increase the number of operators that you have, this waiting time could become 0.5x, 0.2x, whatnot. So you will work out the numbers for that. You have one more solution. Another thing could be, let's say, instead of waiting time, the total time of the process is too high. Then you could also say that the operators could be given SOPs so that the total time that the operator has to call you, put you on hold, is reduced. Okay. So this waiting time which goes with holding will go down if people are giving SOPs, and all of those things. So broadly speaking, or you could say that even the token, when they say it out loud, one number after the other, that's problematic. Perhaps when people call, the dashboard can immediately register their number, and you can just send them an SMS so that you don't have to waste time in making sure people have heard the token number correctly. You can just SMS that token to them. Okay. So again, I'm just being creative here in terms of what are the recommendations I want to give. But when I talk about process mapping being an relevant strategy in case solving, this is really what I mean. That this can be a very, very powerful tool to quickly break down the problem into consequent parts and just keep analyzing one part after the other and figuring out where the problem is. A smarter way of doing this could be, I could have asked for total waiting time at each step, or total time at each step. First, deal with the time where the maximum amount of time is taken. Try to break it down why there is so much time taken at that step, and then resolve that. See impact happening. So that would be perfect 80-20. And then move on to the second most time consuming, third most time consuming, fourth most time consuming. So a very simple direction to a problem. So I hope this gives you a better appreciation of why process mapping is so powerful. So that's it for this case.